Alright, in this quick video, we are going to recap how to graph lines. Now, in order to graph a line, we need two important points. We need the slope and the y-intercept. Now, those two things can be found very readily when the equation is already in what we call slope-intercept form, meaning that is, hopefully that rings a bell, but we're talking y equals mx plus b. Meaning virtually that y is by itself. So if you look at my number 5 there, that already is in what we call slope-intercept form. Now, when things are in slope-intercept form, again, I'm looking for those two key things, my slope and my y-intercept. My slope is the number attached to x. So in this case, my negative 1/4 is my slope. And then the number by itself is my y-intercept. So my negative 3 is my y-intercept. Now, in terms of what we start with, once I can identify these two things, I always want to start with my y-intercept. Sometimes you'll hear your y-intercept referred to as your initial value or your starting point. So if my y-intercept is negative 3, that means I go on the y-axis. I find negative 3. I need to make a dot there at negative 3. Be clear, hopefully. Then I use my slope as a set of directions. So if the slope says negative 1/4, I am allowed to use that negative with either the numerator or the denominator, but not both. So if I think of using that negative with the numerator, that directions would say go down 1 from the y-intercept and to the right 4. That would leave me right about here. If I think about using that negative with the denominator instead, then the directions would say go up 1 and to the left 4. Either way, those sets of points will lie in the same line. So my last step is to connect those points. And there I have it. Now, if I look at number 6, things are a little bit more tricky, mainly because my line is not what we call slope-intercept form. So I need to do some work to get y by itself. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is move that x over. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have negative 5y. I'm allowed to either call this negative x minus 5. If I'd like to say negative 5 minus x, that's fine too. Whatever is more easy for you to deal with. Okay, at this point, I still need to get y by itself. I have that negative 5 in front. I'm going to have to divide both sides by negative 5. And when I say both sides, I mean everything on both sides. So on the left, I actually do have y by itself now. That's good. That's what I was striving for. On the right, though, I have to divide both terms by negative 5. So when I say negative x divided by negative 5, remember there's a 1 in front of that x. Because they're both negatives, that's going to make it positive. So I'm looking at a positive 1 over 5x. And when I look at negative 5 divided by negative 5, I get a positive 1. Again, two negatives make a positive. Now I'm at the exact same point I was to start the previous problem. I have to identify the slope and the y-intercept, and then I can go. As always, the slope is the number attached to x. In both of these problems, it ended up being the first number, but that doesn't have to be true. It's the number attached to x. So 1/5 is my slope, and then positive 1 is my y-intercept. Remember, my y-intercept is my start value. So if my y-intercept is 1, I go to 1 on the y-axis. I make a dot there. If my slope is positive 1/5, that means from my starting point, those directions say go up 1 and to the right 5. Now, technically, oops, I'm not really sure why that jumped over there, but technically, I could also move that slope in the other direction because if it's positive 1/5, two negatives make a positive. So from my starting point, I could have went down 1 and to the left 5. So I could have also been right here. Either way, those points lie in the same line. So I can connect that line. And there I go.